Here is one of the most important questions for startup companies. How should they deal with valuations during fundraising, especially during phases like we have right now, economic downturns? During the last economic upcycle, valuations of startup companies were simply skyrocketing. The market environment changed significantly in 2022. Sometimes public and private companies lost about 90% of their last valuation, creating the need for so-called down rounds. What is the right approach to valuations? Listen to Alexander Belcredi and Lorenzo Corsini. They successfully built their biotech company Phagomed and raised several rounds of financing and ultimately got acquired by the German company Biontech. Enjoy the show.
But I think the dilution you can only give up equity once. It's very difficult to get it back once you've given it up. And so we always knew that in the Series A, we would be giving up a large chunk of equity. And so it made sense to be conservative with your equity up front. That also meant that we didn't have a VC on board who would automatically sort of guarantee the next rounds and be an anchor investor next round. We sort of a bit started from scratch in sort of our Series A fundraising. At the same time, I do want to say with regards to angel investors, if you're a GmbH, you always also need to take into account that for the big decisions, you actually need the signature of every single angel investor that you have on the table. So being sort of smart about that and having people who you also trust to act sort of in a joint sense of interest, that's also important. Yeah, and I think that's something that people sometimes tend to forget, that actually having somebody who's invested at GmbH, even if it's a small slice of the pie, he holds a lot of power, he or she, in the sense that that investor. And so making sure that you feel happy with the investors that you're bringing on board, that's also an important part.
Yeah. And I think in terms of dilution, for us, it was always more important to have a perspective that we only do up rounds and we don't have to do a down round. And so it's bad for everybody if like the valuation in the round after this is lower than the valuation of the current round, because it just gives a bad picture and it sets a bad mark and everything, and basically the company's done then. So like we tried to be like, of course we wanted to preserve our share, but we knew that you can't be too greedy in a sense that you have to give up something, because otherwise you might not be able to deliver a decent return in the round after the next. And so it's always really important to think of the round after the next and the round after that. If so many rounds are needed, that you need to have a realistic chance or even a high probability to be able to deliver overall value increases. And if that means more dilution, then it means something more dilution, because there's just no way around improving the value in each round.